Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aditya Putra Pratama. My student number is A1B219105. And in this video, I would like to explain to you or present to you about our group topic, which is the paradox of hunger in the world. Okay, I'm just going to answer about number 1 and number 2 question. Okay, the first number 1 question is, how is the condition in the country or the world? It is estimated that billions of worldwide people suffer from starvation in 2012. This means 1% out of 7 suffer from hunger. However, our planet produces enough to feed its entire population. Hunger should therefore not exist. Okay, let's take 3 countries for example of this problem, like Bolivia, Congo, and Ethiopia. These countries are struggling with scourge of hunger, even though they have huge potential in terms of food and agriculture production. Bolivia is 35 times bigger than Belgium, with an equal number of inhabitants. Of a third of land is dedicated to agriculture and livestock farming, and 40% of its population depends on agriculture for its livelihood. However, more than a quarter of Bolivians suffer from malnutrition. Bolivia is the poorest country in Latin America. Okay, the next country is Congo. Congo natural resource could feed the entire African continent. 58% of the Congolese population depend on agriculture, but this country has the highest percentage of undernourished people in the world, 70% of its population. There are 65 million farmers in Ethiopia, or 77% of the country population. The largest cattle herds in Africa are in Ethiopia, enough to supply milk and meat to all of East Africa, and yet 41% of Ethiopians are undernourished. The paradox stark countries that are mainly populated by farmers are those most affected by hunger and malnutrition across the planet. Over 60% of the people who go hungry are families from farmers, animal breeders, and fishermen. Only 2 until 12% of Europeans depending on the country are farmers. In the USA, only 2%. These countries are affected by a different problem. Their populations suffer from obesity. In the USA, almost 1 in 3 people are obese, while others countries hunger ravage the poorest across the globe. Okay, the next question is, what is the cause of the condition? Okay, it's mostly policies in both North and South which are the cause of the situation. Firstly, trade policies, which with the reduction or even absence of taxes and quotas at borders, agriculture goods circulate increasingly freely between the markets of food, poor countries and rich countries. This is trade liberalization. Fast farm business from the north use tractors, mechanical equipment, and fertilizers at affordable prices and receive financing and subsidies. While farmers in the south are poor and often only have their hands, some tools, and a watering can when they're lucky enough to have access to the water. They do not benefit from the subsidies. They barely have access to fertilizer and quality seeds and sometimes even their access to land isn't guaranteed. Secondly, is agriculture policies. In industrialized countries, agriculture developed through strong and ambitious policies that enables country to become self-sufficient and even produce surplus in some case. In the USA, the budget allocated to American agriculture, which account for 1 to 2% of the country's population, is around 95 billion euros. In the EU or Europe, the Common Agriculture Policy, or we can say CAP, which still accounts for a large of the European budget, is often the main source of revenue for farmers, and yet in Bolivia, Congo, and Ethiopia, politicians have neglected agriculture. The government dedicate little, if any, money at all to the agriculture sector, and farmers receive hardly any support, and the small amounts granted for agriculture often focus on export crops such as coffee, cocoa, cotton, and soya. So farmers are discouraged from producing crops that could feed them or the local population. All the policies have made poor countries, though their population are largely composed of farmers, utterly dependent on food imports from industrialized or emerging countries, and when prices of imported agricultural goods go up in international market, millions of poor farmers and consumers can afford the high prices, and therefore they don't get enough to eat, as we saw in the food crisis of 2008 and 2011. Lastly is energy policies that promote biofuels produced from rapeseed, sugarcane, and oil palms also contribute to impoverishment of hunger of farmers and poorest countries who should be farming for their food rather than endlessly adapting to the needs of rich country and their polluting industry. So I guess that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Indah Wulandari. My student number is A1B219088. I'm from third group and I will answer the questions number 3. How to solve the problem? There are 3 ways we can solve their problem. First, we can help to end hunger by calling on our political leaders to choose a favorable framework for family-based agriculture through petitions. Second, we can help to end hunger by getting consumers to choose local and seasonal goods and fair trade products. Third, we can help to end hunger by keeping informed and informing to those around us. I think that's all. Thank you.
My name is HerlindaWati Ester Nainggolan with student number A1B21910. Now I'm going to discuss the situation in Indonesia related to the video we have obtained of the paradox of hunger in the world. As for this problem situation, we got from a news article entitled "Hunger is not in the food crisis, but unequal of supply." In this news article, it explained the improvement in sustainable food production involving small farmers need ways of innovation in improving nutrition and health in the ASEAN region. Food security is an integral part of effort to reach the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Food issues are serious because hunger is occurring not because of the food crisis, but because of inequality of supply. Even today, obtaining daily food is struggle for 795 people worldwide. Despite being called one of the rice silos in Asia, many Indonesians still suffer from hunger. It's also based on data from the World Bank that the Hungry Index in Indonesia, or Global Hunger Index in Indonesia in 2016, stood at 21.9%, where it's clear that the position indicates that Indonesia's hunger rate is already in serious condition. Even from such data, Indonesia is only slightly better than the countries of Laos and Myanmar. Well, the next explanation will be continued by my friend Catherine. Catherine, time is yours.
Guys, my name is Rohmoia Capah. My student number is A1B2199095. So here I want to explain to you about similarity paradox situation in Indonesia. So as many as 37% children aged under 5 in Indonesia have stunted bodies due to malnutrition. 1 of 10 babies born under normal weight. There must be a fair economy, especially regarding the food sector. Companies should not see this as an industry only, but must think about sustainable development. In addition, small farmers are becoming the main focus of food safety issues. We have to working on our farmers' welfare if want to continue to get food. I think that's all about content of situation in Indonesia, and the next material is going to explain by the next presenter. To the next presenter, time is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Siti Sartika. My ID student number is A1B219090. Okay, in this video, I would like to talk about causes of hunger in Indonesia. The first causes is extreme weather and climate change. Food availability in a country is largely determined by conducive climatic conditions. The prolonged dry season, the danger of floods, and various natural disasters. Forest fires, especially in areas where food crops and produce, will have an impact on food availability. And the second thing is waste of foods. In Indonesia, everyone wastes 300 kilograms of food every year. And the last thing is poverty. Poor families and farmers often lack the funds to acquire high-yield seeds, equipment, and the infrastructure to produce more. They are forced to produce just what their physical strength will allow, just to have a little to live on. They usually use a lot of family labor, and children end up working on the farms instead of going to school. As the children turn adults, they are also handicapped with knowledge and ways of producing more to secure their future. The poverty cycle continues. Okay, I think that's all about the causes of hunger from me. Thank you.
My name is Shakilla Pebriansyah Putri. My student number is A1B219108. I would like to explain about the effects of hunger. Hunger and poverty go hand in hand. So, what are the effects of hunger? Okay, for the first point, in terms of health, hunger and malnutrition make the body weak and vulnerable to diseases and infections, as the body doesn't have the fuel to build muscle and fight off infections. In children, this is deadly, and many of children die in hunger-prone areas for this reason. However, not only children, but adults too. For example, in Serang, Banten, a mother of a resident of Lontar Baru urban village, Banten province, named Yuli Nurmelia, 40, died of hunger. She died on Monday, April 20, 2020. Yulia and her family had a lot of reports because they had been hunger for 2 days. They can only drink refill gallon water and eat the cassava they have. Yuli's husband revealed that his wife didn't have a history of any disease. But before his wife died, his wife had fainted and was taken to the local puskesmas. Okay, for the second point, in terms of education, without proper foods with the right balance of vitamins and minerals, the brain is not able to develop properly. Hunger also makes it difficult to concentrate on anything, especially for children. Children suffer from this most, and hunger also keeps children away from school, as they have to walk for meals, to do some farm work, to make a living with their families. Oh yeah, do you know, according to an article that I have read, 37% of children in Indonesia are stunted due to malnutrition and hunger. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Meisya Syadrina Putri. My student number is A1B2191009. So I'm gonna tell you about the solution and conclusions from our group. The problem of food insecurity is immediately solved for a solution so that food availability can be realized in all regions of the country. For example, the implementation of the Basic Agrarian Law number 5 of 1960 so that farmers have enough agricultural land for food production purposes. There needs to be a change in the mindset society so that food is not only rice, maize, but tubers, sago, and others. It is also necessary to cultivate it to meet our food needs. This food diversity may be an alternative food to be free from the threat of hunger. Food self-sufficiency is still not relevant in the effort to achieve this food availability both nationally and internationally, especially for farmers. For this reason, the implementation of the Basic Agrarian Law number 5 of 1960 regarding land reform implemented immediately so that farmers have sufficient land for food production. The problems faced by Indonesian people are concerned with food security as written above. It is worth addressing immediately whole. The issue of food distribution must get priority because it's concerned with the impact on socioeconomic aspects, in particular security and illegal levies, along with transportation routes in Indonesia are still rampant. Do not send goods from Java to Medan, for example. It costs more expensive compared to sending goods from Java to Thailand. I think that's all from me and from us from group 3. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.